We open today's program with a bit of a visual quiz. If you can identify the location of today's featured destination based on this, you are indeed a well-traveled golfer. But if you're still wondering where we are, we'll answer that question for you in the moments ahead. This destination features two remarkable championship courses, one of which is hosting a professional event for the future stars of the LPGA Tour, and the other, a Division I NCAA tournament in the fall. This, my friends, is going to be a very special program, so stick around.
Welcome to Michigan Golf Live Television, celebrating our 20th season of shining the spotlight on the best places to stay, play, and enjoy the greatest game on earth. MGL TV is brought to you by the Great Lakes Bay Invitational, July 15th through 30th at Midland Country Club, Callaway Golf, Historic Grand Hotel on Mackinac Island, the Golf Association of Michigan, and by Grand Traverse Resort and Spa. Stay connected 24/7 to MGL on Facebook, Twitter, our weekly radio show, and podcasts on the all-new 4golfersnetwork.com.
Hello and welcome into the program. I'm Bill Hobson, and we're glad to have you along with us because this is one of those opportunities we have to introduce to you a brand new golf destination. We have set our course for the far western side of Michigan's beautiful Upper Peninsula, and golfers throughout the Midwest are raving about this place. What is this place? It's called Island Resorts, and its property includes two wonderful championship 18-hole courses. Sweetgrass, where I'm standing now, hosting the future stars of the LPGA Tour with a Symetra Tour competition. And about 8 minutes away, you'll come to Sage Run. Both of them designed by architect Paul Albanese. We'll meet him in the moments ahead as we share with you the beauty of God's country at Island Resorts, Sweetgrass and Sage Run. It is always fun to be joined by the man in charge, Tony Bennett. It is good to see you.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having us here. What a marvelous setting this is, both for us as guests and for our viewers who hopefully will soon be guests, but also for the young ladies competing in the Symetra Tour event here.
Yeah, we have players from 35 countries and 40 states. 156 of them are playing for a $200,000 purse.
That's enough to get you to pay attention, one would think.
Oh yeah, we're one of the bigger stops on the tour, and we're real proud of that.
As well you should be. And it also helps drive home the point that this is a fantastic golf destination, not just for the pros, but for all of us.
Oh, absolutely. This was by popular demand. We have a lot of customers that come to the UP, to come to the casino, and we have a showroom and a convention center. Back in the early 2000s, they wanted a golf course, so we built Sweetgrass in 2008 and added Sage Run in 2018.
You're a fantastic player as well, and have a feel for what quality golf is like. As we see these beautiful scenes behind us, what's your description of Sweetgrass? What Paul Albanese do here?
Paul Albanese set this up for all levels of golfers. If you're not that great, you can still play it, get around, there's shorter tees. But if you're a good player, it's a real second shot golf course. You have to be on the right side of the fairway and hit the right part of the green in order to make a score.
Yeah, and you and I are standing near a beautiful hole here where there's a little water wrapping around your signature par 3 that we'll see here in a moment. But not everywhere on this course do you have to worry about splashing down.
No, there's water on 6 of the holes, but like I said, if you play the right tees, they're not tough shots.
I know that you're very popular among golfers coming over from Chicago and all through up Wisconsin. We're also trying to reach those that are down in the southern part of Michigan, down into Ohio, and kind of in that part of the Big Ten region. Get them up here. What's the experience overall like for someone who decides to make this UP swing?
Well, you could do a week with it. I mean, we have partnerships with some really big golf courses up at Gray Walls, Timberstone. You know, you have Manistee has a fantastic golf course, Bay Mills up in the eastern UP. So, you know, if you're willing to get in the car, and the drives are only a couple hours apart, so it's not really that long of a drive, but a lot of good golf courses up here, a lot of ranked golf courses, nice people. It's a great place to be.
Well, I know you take great pride in what you have here throughout the entire resort experience, and as well you should. It's a thrill for us to be here to see a professional tour event here. The NCAA is hosting an event at Sage Run in the fall of this season. You guys are arriving as a premier golf destination.
Yeah, we are. It's exciting, and we grow every year. You know, you would think after 10 years people would get tired of it, but they still come back, and now they have something else to do here, you know, up at Sage Run.
These beautiful golf courses comprise an incredible golf destination on the far western side of Michigan's beautiful Upper Peninsula. Dave Douglas is Director of Golf here. It is good to see you, my man.
Glad to be here.
Thanks for having us up in God's country. It's so beautiful up here.
It is. It is pretty quiet area. We've got great summers up here and 2 really nice golf courses to play on.
For everybody watching who's never thought of the Harris part of Michigan as being a golf destination, what are they missing out on?
Some really, really good golf. Yeah, we have 2 top-notch courses. Sweetgrass currently ranked number 10 in Michigan by Golf Week magazine. Sage Run is new, so we expect that to be ranked too once those rankings come out, but high quality golf if somebody's looking to come up this way.
One of the great indicators of the quality of a golf destination is sometimes tied to the events it hosts. You and I are standing at Sweetgrass, where you may be able to tell in the background there's preparation for a Symetra Tour event of future LPGA stars. It just serves to reinforce the quality of the Sweetgrass experience.
Right. I mean, that for them to come to this course, that tells you, you know, it is a quality golf course, and we enjoy having them, and the community loves having them.
This special destination has an open invitation for you to come tee it up at both Sweetgrass and Sage Run, just like the ladies on the Symetra Tour are doing. We get a chance to meet Madison Pressel. It's good to see you.
Hi, nice to see you as well.
Not only is she a fantastic golfer, but she shares my affection for the maize and blue, so that's kind of nice as well.
Absolutely.
You're traveling the world playing golf, but you have your home roots right here in this state.
Yes, my parents grew up in Grosse Pointe area, so I used to spend all my summers there. It's been a few years since my grandparents sold their home there, but it's always great to come back to Michigan.
This venue, from a Symetra Tour standpoint, seems to be really popular among the players. What's special about the Sweetgrass setup and how they treat the players?
It's funny because through the year people ask what your favorite event is, what your favorite golf course is, what your favorite venue is, and this one is consistently one that I say that is our favorite. The golf course is always pristine. It's beautiful. You stand on every hole and it just looks beautiful. It's so stunning to play the golf course, so it makes it even more fun to be out there because you're enjoying all the views that you get. And then the hospitality that we get, the player environment that we have here, the range is great, the putting green is great. Everything is pristine for a big tournament setup, and we're really happy to be here.
Very good. Well, we want you to do well.
Thank
you very much.
Yes.
And we want to see you on the big show when your game's ready to get you there.
Thank you.
Don't go away. You'll see more Sweetgrass and Sage Run after the day.
Welcome back to the program and our feature of Island Resorts, where you'll find Sweetgrass and Sage Run, 2 championship golf courses. And part of the fun I get to have during this shoot is to play in the Pro-Am with the Symetra Tour ladies. Allison Emery is my Pro-Am partner, and quite often, Allison, people will ask back home, what's Bill's game really like? So who better to answer that question than you?
You know, it's a really good thing you can edit the show.
That's not how we had it planned. Let's go back and play, and I'm going to introduce you to the man who designed this course, Paul Albanese, the masterpiece that is Sweetgrass. She and I have to have a little conversation. I think it's always a special treat to be able to talk with the architect of any golf course. And here at Sweetgrass and Sage Run, it's the same person, 10 years apart. Sage Run in late 2018 opened up, and here we are on Sweetgrass, which is celebrating its 10th anniversary. So Paul Albanese, how do you describe your baby here?
Well, this is the first of my two babies, right? Sweetgrass we built over 10 years ago, and as I think I've told you before in other interviews we've had, that it's a real treat and it's a true honor to be invited back to do Sage Run, which is down the road from here. So we're real proud of that and thankful to the tribe for allowing us to do it twice. And I think everyone should know that these are two different golf courses. One is like white wine and the other one's like red wine. They're really two different pieces of property, and you get two different experiences out here. People who want to come to the resort and enjoy it are really going to have a differential of experience.
Well, let's talk about the white wine version here first,
Okay.
and that is Sweetgrass right from the start. What kind of a feel and flow were you going for here?
Well, this property was a blank slate. It was flat. We had to figure out how to be creative to do something that would be interesting and bring golfers from around the region out here. So what we did is, in addition to building what we think is a great golf course from a golfer's perspective, we wanted to have the forms and the creation be inspired by something unique. And we know that the tribe has a unique history, so we went and studied the culture and the history and the legends that they have. And we used those to inspire how we created the forms and made the golf course landscape fit with the golf course experience.
Wow. From an actual tee to green standpoint, you've done some really unique things with design, with the green complexes. The first one that really comes to my mind is number 4, where you better be accurate with that iron shot because of the way you've set that one up. Take us through some of your thought processes, maybe front 9 on the flow.
Well, of course, from a golf standpoint, we wanted you to be able to hitting a lot of different clubs, not have the same shots on every hole. And 4 is a really good example of how we intertwined a story from the tribal heritage into a golf course and made it a great golf hole and a great story as well. The name of that golf hole is called Michigami, and Michigami is the fort that the native Potawatomis used to hide from the Senecas when the Senecas came over from New York to try to eliminate them as a tribe. So we use that story as the inspiration for the design. And if you'll notice, there's posts up on the right side of the golf hole. And those are to represent the old fort, to say, hey, this is the story.
Right?
And then the green itself is a redan green.
Yeah.
And the redan actually fits very well into that landscape. But the unique, why we used a redan is because redan is a French word for fort. So it all fits together, the story, the golf, everything fits into one story.
Does every hole have a story that tied into the heritage?
Every hole, we took 18 stories, and there's 180 stories
Sure.
that they have, and we decided we took 18 of the most interesting stories we could find, and we used those as an inspiration for the landscape for how a great golf hole would fit into that.
Yeah.
So this isn't just about the story or a landscape architecture project, and it's not just about a golf course and a great golf course for golfers. It's an intertwining of both, which is why I think the course became successful.
I just love the feel of front 9. And then we come back up when we make the turn. We head out on 10, which is where you and I are standing now. And I think that this back 9 has as much of a championship feel as any course in the Midwest, perhaps, certainly in the northern part of the state. What were you going for on the back 9 here?
One of the things that we try to do on a golf course is like a piece of music. We like to start out like a lot of music does, in a very simple way, and what I call a handshake to the golfer, so that it's not too strong, it's not too weak, and you build into a crescendo. And that's what we were going for here, was that at the end you were going to start to feel that build up to the end of the song. And I think 16, 17, and 18 here are a strong end that people are going to remember, that they're not incredibly difficult, but they're going to be very memorable and very much like the end of a song.
Well, before we get to those closing 3 holes, let's talk about a rather unique green complex that you have on a par 3, because the par 3s here on Sweetgrass are very stout, and we've added to it with a Barrett's style green that if you get to the wrong level, not only are you going to need to hit a good putt, you're going to need to hit a hard putt.
in my 27 years of designing a golf course, that might be the most interesting green I've ever done. And I'm really proud of that one. I love it. I love reminiscing about the design process with Scott and Tony over that, because those two were the guys that I had to report to with regard to my design.
And they said, what are you doing with this green?
That almost verbatim to what you just said. That's exactly what Scott Hero was. He really was not sure that this was even going to work.
Yeah.
And I had to convince him that, guys, I think this is going to be memorable, playable, and very interesting. And at the end of the day, with the 7 to 8 foot drop in the middle of that green, it is the green that people talk about when they leave here. Right. So I love it. I'm glad we did it. I'm glad the owners had the confidence to go with the idea. That really is something I can't put a value on, is owners that allow you to be that creative.
And we have a stretch on the back 9 wrapping around the signature 15th hole. But as you bring that water into play, we've got a couple of other greens nearby. That's really a unique part of this golf course. Great for spectating and great for playing.
We knew that having 15 in the middle like that with the island and the bridge, I mean, that's something. The bridges on this course are something to talk about now for 5 minutes. I could tell you the story behind the bridges.
But these are historical bridges.
They're historical bridges. The fact that the bridge got to bridge the island green with the mainland in that central location. The beauty of that is, as people are playing the 12th hole, they come up and they see that and they realize, wow, we get to play that in about 3 or 4 holes.
One more thought on Sweetgrass. Both 9s end in spectacular fashion, wrapping around a lake leading up 9 and 18 running parallel. What was your thought process on closing out both 9s?
Well, again, as I said, we like the idea of having a crescendo at the end of the 18 sequence, but one thing in modern day golf course architecture is that a lot of courses, you are often teeing off the back 9. People often have to play a golf course in a different order, but you always end up on 9 and 18.
Right.
So I wanted 9 and 18 to both be strong, and we realized, so we thought 9 might not even end up being the 9th hole. We thought it might be 18. So we realized we needed both 9 and 18 to be strong ending holes. That double green that ends 9 and 18, that combines them, do you know what the inspiration behind that is?
I believe it's the Upper Peninsula.
Correct. It's the Upper Peninsula. We're up in the UP right now. We took that as the inspiration and we kind of massaged it a little bit. But if you squint hard enough and look at it, you can say, I can understand how that UP kind of fits into that double green.
My shot into 9 today fell just short of the Upper Peninsula, into one of the Great
You were
Lakes.
into like Traverse City area?
something like that. Love Sweetgrass. Can't wait to talk to you in a few moments about Sage Run, your other baby. Thanks for giving us a guided tour.
Yeah, my pleasure. I always love talking to you, Bill.
We want you to come and play at Sweetgrass and Sage Run, and when you do, you'll be experiencing a golf destination that some of the best players in the world know is really, really strong. Sophia Popoff comes to the Upper Peninsula by way of Germany/Arizona, right?
Yes, correct.
What's it like for you when you come up here?
I honestly really like it. This is, I think, my 3rd time playing, and we've, thank God, for most parts had really good weather, and I love this course. I always think it's incredible that they have a course like this in the UP. I never heard of the UP before, coming from Germany, obviously, and every time I come here, I go, I think this is amazing. This is probably better than our best course we have in Germany. And considering the weather conditions over the winter and everything, I love coming here because I know it's going to be in perfect shape.
A sure sign that Sweetgrass and Sage Run are quality golf destinations comes when you see that the future LPGA stars are playing here on the Symetra Tour. My friends Tim and Kathy travel with this circus every single week, right? You get to see it all. And you get to see these rising stars in their formative years.
It's exciting. We get a chance to see them before everybody else gets to see them on national television. We've got players from all over the country, young girls just out of college, some just out of high school that are competing for their chance to play on the LPGA Tour. And yeah, I mean, a lot of people are familiar with players like Nelly Korda and some of those players out on the LPGA Tour right now competing for championships. Well, 3 years ago they were out here playing. Yeah. So it's really neat to see those young girls have success.
Well, not only is it a highly competitive environment, Kathy, but it's also that proving ground for a player to see what she's made of, right?
Exactly. The developmental part of this has been phenomenal. I've been with it 8 years now, and you see these gals grow and come onto the LPGA and make themselves stars. It's exciting.
And part of that testing process is hosting events at quality venues. So here we are at Sweetgrass, and boy, this is kind of as good as it gets, right?
This is one of our best golf courses that we play on every year. It's and the superintendent here, they do a great job of making sure that this golf course is in pristine condition for June when we get up here. So it's nice for us to be able to compete on golf courses like this, because the girls are going to be competing on golf courses like this when they make it to the LPGA Tour.
Well, almost every one of you watching out there, like me, is an amateur golfer. And so, Kathy, we get to test our games against these ladies who want to play it for a living. What does this course bring by way of a competitive test?
Oh, I just think like when this gets on the schedule, what date it is, the players line it up. I mean, we've got 9 of the top 10 here this week. The hospitality that we received from Island Resort and the whole crew here. But this golf course, I mean, it is one that they just love to play. It's a top, like Tim said, a LPGA event. So their games will show it this week.
And along with capturing the title here, there's another rather interesting competition that takes place within the tournament called the Basters. I want to make sure I say that well. It's called the Basters. Let's take a look at a little bit of fun the ladies have without clubs in their hands. You know that every April there is a major golf competition that results in the awarding of a green jacket. What you probably didn't know is there's another big-time golf competition that includes the awarding of a green t-shirt for the Basters champion. That's part of a fishing competition that the ladies on the Symetra Tour event here at Sweetgrass get to take part in. These are the defending champions. This is Carolina and Matilda. Congratulations on being defending champions. It's a big thrill.
Thank you.
Right?
We're very excited.
Everybody on that bridge right there wants to take your title away. Are you going to let it happen?
I mean, we're ready to fight, you know, like we're going to be patient and wait for the biggest fish, and we're going to do it again.
Yeah, we're going to try to do the same, or try the same strategy as last year.
You had strategy as fishing experts?
It's a secret, so we can't share
Yeah, we don't want to divulge that in case any of you decide to enter the competition. And somewhere back home in your trophy case, you have a t-shirt like this, coveted. Yeah. Did you get into this through a champion's exemption this year?
We did.
Yeah.
That is good stuff. Okay, last question. Which title would you rather have? Would you rather win the event on the golf course or with the fishing poles? Remember, there's a green t-shirt at stake.
That is a tough one.
We would want to do both, maybe be in the playoff or something for the tournament.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
How about the tournament ends in a fish-off?
That would be the best.
I would
Leave
like
it to me. I've just improved an event that was already really good. We'll have more from Island Resorts when we continue. Now you go defend your title.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's not every day you see a combination of golf and fishing happening at the same time, but that's some of the fun they're having at the Symetra Tour event here at Island Resorts. Now, golf here at Sweetgrass is where the actual tournament takes place, but about 8 minutes away is a remarkable golf course that celebrated its grand opening in 2018. It's called Sage Run. Let's go meet Paul Albanese, the man who designed it. Earlier in the program, you had a chance to meet Paul Albanese, the man who designed Sweetgrass, and now we come to the younger member of the family of golf here at Island Resorts, Sage Run, almost a year old. And the difference between these two courses is summed up how?
Well, as I think I've told you in the past, it's a little bit like red wine and white wine out here. Sweetgrass is the red wine, and this is really the white wine. And we say that because the grapes we had to work with, if you will, the landscapes of the two golf courses are very different. Sweetgrass was very flat. This golf course has what they call a drumlin that runs through it. And a drumlin is a large landform. It's really like a big ridge that you have to go up and down or through. And we tried to route the golfers in a way that they'd have different experiences going up, down, over, and through this drumlin. And so far, from what we've heard, they like it because they're all giving good reviews of the place. So.
Most of the time when we play a course with considerable elevations, we always think about hitting downhill. And you've done some flipping of that concept. We play some of the shorter holes here up the hill.
Yeah, well, and that goes to the routing of the golf course. And usually when you find yourself designing a golf course, whenever you're playing down, often to get back to where you were, you have to play up. So we're always trying to figure out what's the best way to get back up an elevation change, and whether that's a long par 3 or a short par 3 or a medium-sized par 4, how to put it into the slope. That's all kind of what we're trying to figure out. And again, I think we've done it well here. When we go up the hill, they're very fair holes. They're the kind of holes that you have to think a lot, and that's something we really like to do in our designs.
Sage Run also strikes me as a course where your second round is probably going to be better than your first because you'll have a little better idea of where to hit it.
Yeah, and that goes, again, to our design philosophy. You know, we have a lot of subtle design features in all our designs, and I think any course you play that I design, you'd find that the more you played it, the more you'd understand some of the subtle nuances that we've put into the design. So you'll definitely score better the more you play any design I've done.
You know, from Sweetgrass and then 8 minutes over to Sage Run here, one thing that I've really noticed is a commitment to quality playing conditions. Sage Run looks fantastic, and it's only a year old.
Yeah, no, I'm exceptionally pleased with how well the staff has done in getting this golf course ready, especially after the winter that we all know we had in Michigan and the spring. It's been brutal. And for me to come out here this week and see the conditions is just a testament to the staff and how great they're doing. And the same with the staff over at Sweetgrass. I mean, they're one big team, they work together, and I couldn't be more pleased with the conditions.
Got the top lady players at Sweetgrass. We'll have the top NCAA players here competing at Sage Run. And all of it, the creation of this guy. Thank you for the guided tour. These places are fantastic. You've done a wonderful job in designing it, and we appreciate you showing us around.
Phil, I appreciate being invited on your show. Thanks.
One of my favorite things about a fantastic golf destination is when it provides us with so much fun that we can't fit it all in one 30-minute program. And so now it's up to you to set your course for the western part of Michigan's Upper Peninsula and take in the beauty, the excellence, and the championship golf available at Island Resorts. Whether you tee it up on Sweetgrass or Sage Run, I know this, you'll want to do it again. Thank you for joining us on the program today, and I look forward to seeing you up here in the Western UP at Island Resorts.